Good evening, Abule Imole, Africa, Nigeria, and all the students of Alma School for Humanity in the world, Alma Inspira in Israel, and people who are listening to us through the social media. I would like to start with a prayer that the words that will be spoken here will come from above. So, Lord, open my lips and my mouth will declare your praise. Amen. I think there are two ways to go through life in planet Earth. One is with the barriers of the intellect, and the other way is with the wings of the spirit. So if one decides to go with the intellect, he can pretty imagine how his life is going to be ended. But if you decide to go with the wings of the spirit, even the most wild imagination cannot imagine how life could be. And as I decided many years ago to go with the wings of my spirit and go in the way that the light showed me, life gives me all the time surprises, big surprises. So 7 months ago, when we opened the Alma School for Humanity School, I did not imagine at that time that I will be in Africa, in Nigeria, opening our first center, physical center in the world. So before I traveled, the name for this lecture was given to me, the many lights, the many colors of the light, yes? But the guidance was that I should not write the lecture, I should wait, because I had to experience many things. And only then take all the impressions and put them into words and give them to the world. So I crossed the bridge from Germany, Israel to Africa. It's the first time that I'm in Africa. And crossing the bridge is one of the exercises that we are teaching in Dream for Life. Dream for Life is a course that we are now filming for Alma School for Humanity. We just started last month in Germany and we will be finished in July. And one of the exercise names is crossing the bridge. It's a very important exercise. I would like to share it with you because I think it helps in all types of relationships and also, of course, between cultures. So you and me, what is the most important? End. Okay? So when two people meet, each one of them is a word. Even if he's from Nigeria, it doesn't matter, he's a word. And what we usually try to do in marriage, for example, yes, each one is trying to bring the other person into his own word. To see things according he sees them. To think according he thinks. And this is what creates ego struggles. You can imagine it energetically. Two people. One is trying to, why don't you clean the kitchen the way I think you should clean it? Yes, this is the only way to clean. Is the other person has absolutely another vision concerning cleaning, and these are only small things. So when we understand that the relationship is not living, not in his word and not in my word, but rather in a space where it is between us, then we can create sacred relationship. Okay, so we have to keep this space, you and me, this end, the most important thing, is not polluted and it's pure. And how do we make it? So one of the things we have to do once in a while is to cross the bridge to the word of the other. It's a whole exercise in Dream for Life. I will not tell you all the details about this exercise. But when I cross the bridge, for example, to Nigeria or to Al-Ad, which is sitting next to me, it means that I'm leaving. Imagine that here we have the space, and above the space we have a little bridge. And when I want to know something about the other person, and I'm crossing the bridge to him, the only thing I can take with me is the passport, so I can come back. But leaving absolutely my point of view, my judgment, my ideas, and coming like a little child, curious, to listen what is happening in the other world. And when two people are doing it, practicing this movement, the space, the holy space, yes, it is consecrated, becomes sacred, and it's not polluted. So I came to Nigeria, and this was my attitude, that I come from a different culture, from a different part of the world, and I cannot say anything because I don't know your life, I don't know your culture, I don't know anything. So I come like a little child, curious, to visit you in your own world. And this is why I came here, this first visit, mainly for learning and not for teaching. But I assume that these experiences of this week will help Alma School for Humanity to make better the curriculum, the program for Africa, for Nigeria. And I hope also when I will share with you and with the audience at home my lessons in this visit, you can also become rich in spirit. Okay? So lesson number 1, we have 7. Okay? What matters is not what you do, but from which place you do it. When I was a little girl, my mother told me there is a cup, water, honey, and a bag of tea. But it will taste absolutely different when you prepare it from love or you prepare it just from obligation. It's the same ingredients, but the taste will be different. And this is what we should look when people are doing things. Not what they are doing or what they are achieving, or it is perfect or not perfect, or from which place they are doing it. And at the first night in Lagos, I went to sleep and I remembered a story. I don't know how it came to me. My spirit brought this story. It's a Talmudic story about a father who had 2 sons. One was rich, but very egoist. He liked to be alone. He didn't like to receive people, also not his father. So only the weekend, when the father came, he gave him all the luxury food in the world. But I can imagine all of us once at least experiences the feeling of being unwelcome, even though people give you apparently everything. So this was the first son. And the second son was very humble, but with open heart and full of love. And once when the father came to visit him, he told him, you know, Father, I know that the army is searching for you and you have to go to the army. So I will go instead of you. But that means I cannot prepare anything for you to eat. So what is better? A luxury meal or preparing your own food because somebody took the trouble to help you and go to the army? From which place we are doing what we are doing, not what we are doing. As the intellect look for the results. The spirit looking from which place we are doing. And concerning this point, I would like to thank all of you, all the Nigerian people I met, for this hospitality, open heart, warm heart, generosity of spirit, looking at every detail for us, whether it's a hat to protect us from the sun, but we came in with a delegation, water, preparing the best food for us, taking us, making a huge effort in a country which is, we already know it is not easy. So this is the first lesson I take with me, and it's a big thank you, all of you, for this hospitality, which is really something that people can come here to learn. Thank you. Maybe you want to see, okay? All these people that we want to, part of them, not all of them are here, but you can look at home.
Say hi to the camera. Is it broadcast international?
Okay. Okay, lesson number 2, words by John Lennon. John Lennon said, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. So we had many plans, and many of them did not happen. So what happens to the intellect when he plans something and he become very confused, he don't like it, but the light prepared us many things that did not work out as we thought they should be. So finally, and it was also very hot, the intellect fainted. So when the intellect faded, because it was too many things that he could not cope with, that was the opportunity for the spirit to wake up and to give all of us coming from Europe a big lesson. We know that the old world will collapse. So we come from a world that everything is so comfortable. What we are going to do in this moment? I think the people in Abula Imule are rich people in the new world. You have alkaline water, you have stones, you prepare your own house with something that you leave here in the ground. You have solar electricity, you grow your own food. When the old world will collapse, all of us would like to come to live here. So this was a test. Are we flexible? In Hebrew, the word flexibility and the word fulfillment are made from the same letters. If we want to fulfill, we have to be flexible. We cannot stick to the rigidity of the intellect. And each one of us from this delegation, we came 10 people. It was very even funny when you look at it from the point of view of the spirit, how the light gave each one of us a test. If somebody is addicted to coffee, he could not find coffee. If somebody needs to eat something very specific, he could not find it. I like to sleep with the air condition. So the first night, all of the room, they had air condition except my room. But I was laughing because I knew it was my test and I said, I'm going to pass this test. So the next night, no problem, I had air condition. So it is a test. Who are we when we don't have all the things we are used to? It's very easy to be a nice person when you are not hungry, when you slept well, when you're not hot or cold. But what comes from you? We can see each other really, truly in this moment. Are we thinking about other persons when we are not comfortable? Are we become nervous? Are we open up or we close? Are we complaining or we find gratitude for everything? So this is what is the new world. Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. So we have plans, but the light have other plans. If we're not going to accept it and absolutely have not having attachment to anything. If we want to survive the change between the old world to the new world, we must have no attachment to anything. So this was a very interesting lesson about this. Lesson number 3. Well, I saw a lot of churches in Nigeria, and I think, Femi, you told me that Nigeria is the most religious place in the world. In the world. Okay. So every 2 streets, you have a church. So I was looking at, on the other one hand, a lot of churches. So suppose that people believes in God, but on the other hand, a lot of suffering. It seems like people start to have a doctrine and believe that if you believe in God, you must suffer. It's like goes together. And what came to me, it is very strong. I don't know if it's going to be acceptable or not, but this is what came to me, that people must leave the churches if they want to find God, if they truly want to find Him and His will. And if they truly want His will, of course, the laws of creation. And if they really want to find their spirit. And actually, this is what Alma Ol is about. Alma in Hebrew means a young woman. There is a place of honor to femininity in the school. In Spanish is a soul. It's the body soul, which we have to purify. And in Aramaic, which is the ancient language that Christ was speaking together with Hebrew, is a word. So the new word is to leave all the old and also the religion, and to understand that if you really find God and really live according to His laws, there could be only happiness and prosperity, not suffering. So I already know it will be a big challenge for Alma School for Humanity and this country, and maybe in all this continent. Lecture number 4. The old world is the big city, and the new world is the village. So we were walking or traveling 2 days in Lagos. It's a very big city, millions of people. I was living many years in South America, so it's not the first time that I see people in such a state of poverty. But it was still very, very hard. And we looked from the bus, and it seems like the people are already accepting this reality. And this reminds me a story, which actually is a test that once one scientist made. He took a normal person that could see absolutely clear with his own eyes, and he put a very thick glasses on him, like 5 or 6. Of course, at the beginning, this person could not see anything, and he also had terrible headaches. But after not a long time, he started to see the world through these distorted glasses. And when they took the glasses from him, he could not see reality. So I think this is what is happening to us. Sometimes we lost the way to look at the world in a natural way. Society, our laziness, there are many reasons. We put glasses and we start to get used to the distorted reality that we see. And it even not disturbs us any longer because we just got used to it. So that was Lagos. There was no hope in the big city. And I also could not imagine a school in Lagos, Alma School for Humanity. But when we traveled to Abule Imule means a village of light, and the beautiful nature of Nigeria. It's like somebody took the distorted glasses from my eyes, and I started to see reality. I started to see the life that humans are meant to live in nature, with contact with the elements, with harmony in nature. Only I don't know how, Fanny, 6 months? Are you working here? 7 months? And 6 months with hard work, people here built infrastructure, amazing infrastructure here. And this is what the African people can do, only if they start believing in themselves with this rich continent that they have. So it is possible, and but it's like, at least in Israel and the United States and also in Europe, people are also speaking about returning to nature, living more modest life with more connection. But we should not forget that living in the nature is not for itself a purpose. What is the purpose of living in contact with nature? Evolve our spirit. So the difference between the view of Abule Imule and other ecologic villages in the world, that people here do not think that the aim is Earth. Our aim is not Earth. Our aim is paradise. But we need to experience and develop ourselves in Earth, in the material world. So by building, by sweating, putting our hearts and hands in building something which will honor God, taking care of His creation, which is our home, but we are only guests in this home. Abule Imule, the nature of Nigeria, is absolutely a place where I can see the Alma School for Humanity coming. Okay, something about community. Lesson number 5. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And then love your neighbor as yourself. Christ told us that these commandments are the most important from all. And it was in this order that He told us that through this we can live in harmony. So why first God and then our fellow men? And what this has to do with building a community in a correct way. A community can be a very dangerous place for the spirit. If people are joining the community because they are weak, because they look for other person who will solve their problems, because they are not independent, it is dangerous not only for a community, for any relationship. When I speak with women, young women, not so young women, and they ask me about marriage, I also said that the most important thing is first be happy by yourself, alone. You don't need a man. You love a man. You're not going to look for a man because you need economical security, or you cannot be alone, or you are depressed. And if you are depressed, you are going to attract another person in depression. This is the law of attraction. So first, find the connection with the light, or find with the connection with God alone. And think to yourself, I could be the rest of my life like this, very, very, very happy. The same goes to a community. The community is not a place where people hospitalize themselves in. You understand what I mean, hospitalize? Yeah. A good community is a community that people are coming, they are strong, they already established the connection with the light, and they come to join forces. And it is like also, if you have, I got this image this week when we were speaking about this, like an orchestra. In order for an orchestra to have an harmonic sound, each one should practice his own instrument. Imagine an orchestra when somebody doesn't know to play the violin. They said, okay, but we are all together and we make a noise and nobody notice, yes? So we should all play our instrument the most professional way we can, and then join together and build upward. This goes also for Alma, but in Alma we speak a lot about it, and we are not living together. We have each one of us live in another place. But when people are living together, and we know that community, we know it not only for Alma, for history of community can bring many conflicts and many problems and many disagreements, although that in the beginning all people joined to this community because they thought it had the same aim. So if we keep this teaching of Christ, love your God and then love your neighbor, and then crossing the bridge from time to time, we have a big chance to really stay together for a long time in harmony. Okay, lesson number 6. Every person and every nation need to shed their old self. So I would like to point some of the things that I perceive that we should focus on as part of Alma's curriculum, things that needs to be old, that we must take in order the new to come. So the first one is inspiration and not admiration. We should not look for admiring people, a leader who will solve us all our problems, somebody. When we admire somebody, it's actually an idolatry. It's actually we give all our power to another person. It's much easy. It's much comfortable. This is why many people are doing it. I give my power to a politic. I give my power to the church. It's easy, but responsibility and freedom are the two sides of the same coin. So the moment we don't want to be responsible and we put the responsibility on another person, we also can never be free people. So if we have a leader, a true leader will never ask people to follow him personally. A true leader, you can recognize that he shows the way. And then the people should decide if they want to walk this way and to save their spirits. So, admiration, no. Inspiration, yes. We also, all of us, need to say goodbye once and for all to the consciousness of being a victim. We are not a victim. If we accept the laws of creation, we know that every effect has a cause. At least all the people who are sitting here, and I assume many people are also at home, or there are many people here. I don't know all of you, but I think most people understand it deeply. There could be nothing in our life that we did not planted at some point, in some reincarnation. And even if somebody treated us bad, and we don't know all the reason, could be our father, our mother, husband, ex-husband, somebody, our boss, we could always decide not to be a victim. We have liberty. The other person could do what he wants. It is his own karma. But getting rid of the mentality of a victim is a door for true freedom. There is another thing that we will have to work on together in the school. Another point. Dare to be a leader and believe in success and prosperity instead of just following instruction passively out of depression. One of the goals of Alma School for Humanity here is to empower the African people. And I would like to invite, in this moment, Mr. Ochi, which is our host here in Nigeria. And I invite him to read something that I found doing a little search concerning Africa. I think when an African man reads this, it's much more powerful than I read it. So please come.
Africa is a very rich continent. The area mass of Africa is equal to 30 million square kilometers. Africa is bigger than all of Europe, China, and the United States combined. But in most world maps, Africa is depicted as small, and this is done on purpose to create a visual effect of a small Africa to manipulate, brainwash, and deceive Africans wherever they are. Africa has 60% of agricultural land. Africa has 90% of reserves of raw materials. Africa has 40% of the world's gold reserves. Africa has 33% of the diamond reserves. Africa owns 80% of the world's stock of used telephone and electronics production. Africa has 60% of the world reserve of cobalt, a mineral for the production of car batteries. Africa is rich in oil and natural gas. Africa, that's Namibia, has the richest fish coastline in the world. Africa is rich in manganese, iron, and wood. Africa is a culturally diverse continent in terms of dance, music, architecture, sculpture, etc. Africa is home to 30% medical prescriptions and herbs, which the West modifies in its laboratories. If Africa is in charge of its own affairs and means of production, the rest of the world will revert into third world countries. Did you hear that? I'll read the last part again. If Africa is in charge of its own affairs and means of production, the rest of the world will revert into third world countries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Empower the African people. Changing the beliefs concerning themselves. We are not coming here to take from you. We're coming to give you the power that you had. You had a country, a continent blessed by the elemental beings with all this. This means this land is blessed by God. Empower Africa. This is goal number one for Alma School for Humanity in this continent. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, another thing that we will have to focus on the initiation of the new human being in Africa is that working is not only an aim for having money, but working is something that we need in order to develop our spirit. If someone has a lot of money and he doesn't have to work and he will not do anything, the spiritual laziness that he will have will bring him no blessing. So we must change our system belief that we can prosper and we can have success, but also in order to get this, we need to work. And working is a blessing. When somebody's working in the honor of the Lord, it doesn't matter what he do. It doesn't matter how many hours he do this. Working become pleasure. And this is something that we have very strong in the school, both in Israel and in the world. We love to work. And I hope we can bring this mentality, this way of working, also in harmony, laughing a lot, wings of the spirit. All the people who are part of the team in Alma have wings of the spirit. They can create projects. Then they can dream about things, and the school is supporting these dreams. Look, these young people, they are now living in Germany, come to Africa. None of them study university. I'm not sure we need university in the new world, at least not as they are today, only intellectual knowledge. And they are creating, and they are dreaming, and they are fulfilling. So we cannot, as we stop the mentality of victim, remember, I spoke about it, we cannot blame the politics, for example, and the garbage that we have in the street. We must say, okay, it's us. It's us who do not care. For us who are so desperate that we do not blame anybody. We just clean. We just make everything beautiful. And we are happy doing it. So the value of working. Next thing that I think we should work on is the status of women and the relationship between women and men. Well, it is a problem all over the world, not only in Africa. The secret marriage is something that people absolutely lost the recipe for it. So many people are divorced, and the other part who are not divorced are unhappy. I mean, really young people look at marriage couples and they don't find anything inspired in this institution. I don't know it enough, but I perceive that women here are struggling with many things. They don't find their way, their place. They don't find a way to be treated respectfully from the man. And it seems like the culture is more strong than any spiritual teaching, because people are studying high spiritual teaching. But in life, we could not see it. Women cannot see this. Okay, so it's another thing we will have to work on. And this brings me to the last point, which is do not live in double standards. Or that everything in life is holy, or nothing is holy. Indeed, we have hours of worship, or special festivals, or special dresses for special occasions. But this does not mean that in the rest of the week, we are another person. Spiritual teaching is in life themselves. And we aspire that everything that we do will be in the honor of God as something which is natural. Of course, it does not come the beginning as something natural, but everything, the way we speak, the way we walk, the way we relate to others, there should be no gap between holy days and how we live.